DuckTales Remastered is a remake of the 1989 NES game DuckTales. This evolved version features completely new graphics with a hand-drawn style, as well as reimagined levels. I don't have much ground to compare to the original as I've only played this new remastered edition. Because of this, I will be reviewing it as its own entity overall. The first thing I would like to point out is the beautiful art style. The developers at WayForward clearly put a lot of effort into the sprite work, and it certainly shows. On top of that, the backgrounds in each level are also drawn very well. When you start off, the game places you into a very simple tutorial level where it teaches you the basics of the mechanics. A unique key feature to DuckTales is Scrooge McDuck's ability to pogo jump off of his cane. With this talent, you are able to jump higher than you normally would, as well as allowing you to damage most enemies. After finishing the tutorial, the game allows you to choose between 5 levels. Each of these stages are incredibly unique to each other, and the settings do not repeat whatsoever. The environments are quite nicely drawn, and the level design is non-linear. It is a nice change from most platformers where many levels tend to look the same and consist of point A to point B gameplay. Furthermore, each level had entirely unique enemies within them, with only a few exceptions of overlap. The enemy design was interesting, ranging from man-eating plants to space aliens. However, what wasn't too great about the level design was that it often felt very formulaic. What I mean by this is that almost all of the levels had you searching for a few items that would allow access to a new location within the level, which would in turn lead to a boss encounter. The only levels where this wasn't the case was the mine level as well as the final stage. Surprisingly, I found the game to be fairly challenging despite its theme. There was never a point in which I found myself stuck, but I did end up dying at least a few times. The bosses as well were somewhat challenging, containing more depth than just having you jump on the enemy's head. However, I doubt most people will have too much trouble with it, especially with the frequency of health pickups, as well as health upgrades that can be found within several levels. There's also an easy setting, which gives you infinite lives. The soundtrack is an absolute masterpiece. In each stage, I adored the music that accompanied it, especially the Moon Stage's theme. And if you were a fan of the soundtrack from the original game, there's even an option for the 8-bit tracks. And speaking of the original, it would be nice to have an option to play the NES version within the remastered release. For the people that haven't played the original, this would be a great opportunity to show them the differences between the two editions. As a bonus, you can purchase items like concept art with the money you obtain within the game. There's also a vault filled with Scrooge's gold that you can literally swim in. The game does feel short as a whole, with only 7 levels including the tutorial. Each level should take around 30 minutes to an hour to complete. For $15, you're getting a challenging platformer with tight controls and very beautifully drawn assets. While the game isn't anything amazing, it is a very enjoyable experience that I feel just about anyone could have fun with.